There's so much information out there on how we can improve ourselves as young men, and to be fair, it does seem pretty promising when you initially search for some answers. But please, let's just be real here for a second, because as soon as you start absorbing it all, you very quickly realise how most of it is absolutely useless information that just goes in one ear and out the next. And why is that? Because it's fucking boring as shit, bro. Most of the information that you find online by the big YouTubers or the blogs are either not relatable, not realistic, or not even good advice that real men can actually start using now. I mean, it's no wonder as to why so many men feel like giving up, including myself in the past. But don't lose all hope, bro, because in this video I'm going to be sharing a different perspective on this whole self-improvement game, which you can actually start implementing ASAP. About 3 years ago, I was sat on the edge of my bed and I was completely restless, sitting in the dark in this very room. It was about 3 AM at the time, and my parents and my sister had been asleep for hours, and the only thing I could think about was, how am I going to get through this night? How am I going to stop these terrible thoughts vigorously bouncing off of the walls within my brain? Literally from one negative and intrusive thought to the next. It honestly felt like there was not a single thing on this planet that I was finding pleasure in. The level of fear that I faced in that moment honestly can't be compared to anything else that I've ever felt in my entire life. I felt alone, I felt scared, I felt ashamed, I felt embarrassed, I felt worthless, meaningless, weak, and my thought train was absolutely relentless. I genuinely felt like I would be like this forever. I felt doomed. And the worst thing about it was this was probably happening for about the 20th night in a row, if not more. And I genuinely just didn't know how much longer I could have taken that mental beating. And then out of the blue, on one of these nights, I suddenly remembered a conversation that I'd had with one of my mother's friends when I was about 13 years old. And she was basically trying to explain the concept of the third eye to me. And don't worry, bro, this video isn't about anything woo-woo or spiritual, so please don't click off, you pussy. Basically, the third eye is just another word for the pineal gland, which is a small part of the brain. Obviously, I didn't understand any of this shit at the time, nor was I really interested, and to be honest with you, I still kind of feel the same way about it. But in short, the third eye is kind of like having a special magic eye in the middle of your forehead, and it's kind of like having a superpower that helps you see things with your heart and your mind instead of just, your regular eyes. Of course, make of that what you will. But anyway, I decided to search about it on my phone, and in doing so, I came across this app called Calm. And don't worry, this isn't an ad or anything, like I legally have to tell you if it is an ad, but I downloaded this app called Calm, and that's where I first tried meditation. Once again, I'd heard of meditation in the past, but to be honest, I just thought it was something that weird people that lived on Cloud Cuckoo Land did. But anyway, I thought I'd give it a try. After all, at that time, I didn't really have much to lose. So I plugged in my earphones and I sat back into my bed and listened to this sweet sounding woman talking to me about staying in the present and focusing on my breathing and all of this oddness. And in the background of her talking was this soft sound of like a trickling, flowing river and some tweeting birds. And honestly, man, it was absolutely beautiful. Looking back at this now, I can't help but think, why had I never been informed of anything like this by any of the YouTubers or blog posts that I'd read, or even my school, even my teachers? Why had nobody said anything about this to me? Within just about 5 minutes of me listening to this, my negative thoughts had cleared completely. As in completely. My mind was entirely clear, and I felt like an entire ton had been lifted off from my shoulders. That night I probably had the best sleep I've ever had in my life. Just readjusting the vest, honestly. Why is it doing that? When I woke up the next morning, I knew that this was the start of my new opportunity. This would be my opportunity to unlearn every single piece of horse crap that I'd been taught by the shitty education system and implement my own strategies into not only thinking positively, but also controlling the way that my mind thinks. And today I would love to share those strategies with you in a way that you can actually implement. So let's begin. Step 1 is to push your ego aside, bro. You have to understand that you are not the finished product. and actually be open to learning new things about yourself and the way your mind works. I find that too many of you motherfuckers think you are already perfect and doing the work when you are not, regardless of whether you admit it or not. I'm telling you, do not underestimate the powers of what a strong and healthy mind can provide for you. Before Roger Bannister ran the first sub 4-minute mile in the 1950s, nobody thought it was possible for decades. But since then, literally thousands of people have been able to do it because they now believe it's possible. Before Eddie Hall lifted 500 kilograms, he used the power of his mind to imagine he was lifting a truck that his daughter was trapped underneath. That's why I always say believe you can, and you're more than halfway there at the end of every single one of my videos, because it is literally true. Mindset is everything. Step 2 is to learn how to declutter your mind, and there are a number of ways that you can do this, and I find a combination of all of them is the best way forward. But one option is to practice mindfulness, and you can do this through meditation. And to meditate, you can sit in a chair like the one I'm sitting on now, or you can go outside somewhere or lie down in your bed and then search for some meditation videos on YouTube. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'll literally search for overwhelmed meditation and listen to one of the results that come up. If I feel anxious, I'll search for anxiety meditation. If I feel like I'm lacking direction in life, I'll search through the meditations for feeling lost. I'm sure you can get the message of that. Another option is to journal. Once again, I'm sure you've heard of this before, but it's likely you don't know what the hell it actually means. But basically, journaling is kind of like releasing angry bees from a jam jar. Once you open the lid, imagine there's a jar here. Once you open the lid, or in this case, write down all of your thoughts on paper, all of your current thoughts on paper, that is, all of the angry bees from the jam jar will fly away. Or in this case, all of your negative thoughts from your mind will leave. This then gives your mind clarity and allows you to think clearly again. With practice, you can obviously get better. It is a skill, just like anything that I'm talking to you about in today's video. Another option for how you can declutter your mind is by speaking to somebody. And you've probably heard about this before as well, but it's true. You can speak to a friend, you can speak to a family member, or even a therapist, and you can kind of use them as your journal. That's kind of the way I like to look at it anyway. You literally just speak to them about whatever is on your mind, and I guarantee you will instantly feel better. Now, if you're living in the UK, there's this website called the Counselling Directory, which literally has thousands of professionally qualified therapists on. It genuinely baffles me how many people there are out there to talk to, and I seriously think that more people need to know about this website. I've only recently found out about it, and if I'd knew about it in the past, I would have used it sooner. But basically, if you're not from the UK, you might still be able to use their services, as some of them do offer an online service, but don't quote me on that. I've personally been speaking to somebody in face-to-face that I found on the website for a number of weeks now, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's been so beneficial for me. High recommendations for some therapists, boys. Get on it right now. Step 3 of how you can improve yourself as a young man is by reading books that people who are way more successful than you have written. And when I say successful, that can be about anything. I'm not just talking about having money. I'm talking about people with better social skills than you, people who are more disciplined than you, people who have better diets than you, just about anything in life really. There is literally an abundance of books available that you can learn from. Instead of wasting time absorbing bullshit from people on social media, why not absorb some information that is actually useful to you? Remember, wise men learn from their mistakes, but wiser men learn from the mistakes of others. And I seem to be saying that all the time on this channel, but it's so true, man. Get yourself a book and start reading now, today. Now that you know some easy ways to improve your mental performance, you want to start thinking about ways to improve your physical performance as well. And actually, I'm going to have a quick drink because I'm thirsty. Now, I think if you are a man, it is absolutely crucial to learn how to defend yourself and protect for the people you care most. Actually, I'd say that that's borderline necessity. I don't think there are any excuses with that. Get yourself to a local martial art gym and put in the work. I promise you, the level of fulfillment and confidence it will bring you is remarkable. It will absolutely change your life, and you will instantly set yourself apart from 99% of other men. Get comfortable with feeling scared, because that is how we grow. My last tip for this video, brother, is to start taking the foods and liquid that you are putting into your body seriously. You have to understand how bad the majority of the foods are in the supermarket. So much of it is riddled with additives and chemicals and preservatives. It is beyond a joke, actually. Start eating real foods. That means eat meat. That means chicken, fish, vegetables, nuts, eggs, full fat milk, yogurts, whole grains like oats and brown rice. Literally all of the good stuff. A general rule of thumb, right, is to pretty much avoid anything you can buy with more than 5 ingredients on the packet, because these are the types of foods that contain the absolute shit that's making people fat and making people sick. You know, this shit can affect your testosterone, your mood levels, your anxiety levels. It's seriously not a joke, bro. It is crazy what's available to buy in the supermarkets nowadays. If you follow this tip and the ones before it, I promise you it will be impossible for you not to improve your life. Stay consistent with it, bro, and I promise you, you will see your life going up. It might be a slow progression, but that's fine. Honestly, boys, trust me. For more ways to improve your mindset, click on this video right here. Believe you can, and you are more than halfway there. Now fuck off.